All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Today is going to be a full analysis video. And before I get into all of that, I kind of want to go over just a little bit of fundamental stuff with you guys. I know you guys don't want to hear the fundamental stuff, but look, it's very important, okay? The first thing that I want to talk about is buy the dip. Everybody needs to buy the fucking dip. Look, a note on buying the dip, okay? Buying the dip is all well and good if you're laddering in spot buys. Don't try and be a hero buying the dip, especially with leverage during price action that we're having today. If you try to be a hero, you're going to blow up your portfolio. The next thing that I want to touch on is astrology. And this isn't taking a shot at Marlene, whatever her name is. This isn't taking a direct pot shot at her. But look, she has even said herself, that stuff is not supposed to be meant as predictions for price. That stuff is purely entertainment. Do not be basing trading decisions off of astrology. Don't be basing trading decisions off of people on Twitter. Don't be basing trading decisions off of buying the dip. The next thing that I want to touch on real quickly is BlackRock. So there's been a lot of discussion about, oh, look, BlackRock is getting involved with Bitcoin and ETFs and futures and all this stuff. BlackRock is not a good thing for Bitcoin, okay? At the end of Q4 2020, they have $7.8 trillion worth of assets. That's including $109 billion of Microsoft, $87 billion of Amazon, $42 billion of Facebook. Those big corporations are the ones that basically run the show here in our country. And guess what? If they have that much in assets, do you really think that they want Bitcoin to be devaluing the dollar? No, they don't. They're only probably making an ETF, in my opinion, so that they can short the hell out of it and be able to control and regulate the price so that it's not destroying their monetary value system, okay? Be very cautious when you hear things about that. Don't just assume that, oh, it's an institution, it's all well and good. Do some research on these people. Look at what their major holdings are. Look at who owns the company. Who is the company in bed with? These are things that you have to know and you have to understand in order to put the big picture together of what it means for global economics and what it means for Bitcoin. So that's my little rant for the day. Let's go ahead, take a look at the charts, and I'll give you targets, and we're going to take a look at most of the timeframes. I'm not going to get down below the 1 hour, but I definitely want to take a look at the weekly chart, the 4-hour chart, and the 1 hour chart. Let's get to it. So our weekly chart. So all things considered, this is still looking extremely bullish. Obviously, I mean, look at this chart, right? It's just extremely bullish. Well, right now it's not so bullish, and moves like this really, really hurt us because 10% at 42,000 is a hell of a lot more than 10% when Bitcoin was at 10,000, okay? This goes back to what I mentioned at the beginning of the video, which is where I said, don't try and be a hero, right? Don't be just buying the dip. Look at what would have happened if you would have done that on the weekly chart. You would have bought the dip here, you would have done well, you would have gotten wrecked. You would have bought the dip here, you would have done a little bit better, and then you would have gotten wrecked again. And your account this entire time, not only would it have been losing value in US dollars, it would have also been losing value in Bitcoin. Looking at the weekly chart, you can see right off the bat here that this is pretty much our major support line, right? This is our 2017 $20,000 top. That lines up perfectly with this resistance that we were at before we finally broke free and reached a total of about $42,000, okay? What happens when you're looking at altcoins, right? There's tons and tons of people, and this is regurgitated on Twitter to an almost disgusting rate, is wait for the breakout and then buy the dip. Smart investors on higher timeframes like this that are just averaging in and buying major amounts on high timeframes, this is what they're looking for. They're looking for a retest of $20,000 to $25,000. That's where they want to be buying. No one wants to be buying Bitcoin at 35,000, at 40,000, at 50,000. Until Bitcoin is already at like 100,000, then it's a great buy at 50K, right? So I'm not saying that we're definitely going to be hitting 20K and retesting that. Would I like to see it? Yes, absolutely. And I've got a lot of cash sitting on the sideline in case that ever does happen. We don't have a confirmed bearish cross on our MACD yet. We do not have a confirmed re-entry into regular territory on our RSI. Despite all of that on the weekly chart, this is still extremely bullish, okay? I am not worried about this yet until we start seeing closes below like 29K. If we see a weekly close below 29K, Katie bar the door, we're probably going pretty deep. Now on this daily chart, couple things to be looking at here specifically in terms of our indicators, and I'll get to the Ichimoku cloud in just a second, but we are going to have a confirmed cross below that very important support line on our RSI at 56, and our MACD has crossed into bearish territory officially as of today's daily close. So I'm not discounting anything, but as of right now, it's not looking very good. Now, if we take Ichimoku cloud into account here, this is what I'm really looking for. This is going to be probably a confirmed daily close below our baseline here. For those of you that haven't watched my video on Ichimoku cloud, I'll go ahead and put a link to that in the top right corner up here for you. Okay, so it looks like we're trying to come down and snag support in this green support box that I have. That would also line up perfectly with some of our Ichimoku cloud as well as our 50 EMA. Almost every time on high time frames that I've seen a close below our Kijun-sen, normally we do come in and we test our Tenkan-sen at some point. So that's what I'm going to be looking for there. It's not cause for alarm yet, but if this cloud was to flip over, then on these high time frames, I would definitely be assuming that the bull run is over and we would be looking at either an extended period of consolidation or a total market reversal. All right, so on the 4-hour chart, checking out just basic price action and support and resistance, right? I had in my last video, I was explaining that this was our top range, this was our lower range, and that this yellow line here in the center at about 34,800 was basically our median line. And I stated in my last video that if we start seeing closes below this median line, chances are we're going to come in to test our bottom limit in this range that we have. This is about a $10,000 range here, from about $10,000 all the way up to about $40,000. Last night before I went to bed, everybody was buy the dip. Look, this is as low as we're going to go. What if I woke up to see this? In retrospect, I should have stayed in my short, right? Well, obviously, hindsight is 2020. There was no way for me to know that we were going to be going this deep. I'm going to be looking to be shorting these bounces, okay? Unless Bitcoin sees some massive bullish volume like this, I do not see us crossing and holding above 35K. If we don't hold above 35K, which is now way up here, especially on the 4-hour and the 1-hour time frame, I'm only going to be looking to be shorting bounces on this. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there's no reason to be buying the dip on leverage and trying to be a hero. You're just going to chip away at your account balance and probably end up blowing your account up later on down the road. Now, in terms of Ichimoku cloud on the 4-hour chart, this is a little concerning right now. If we don't reclaim this 200 EMA, it's looking like we're going to be in for further downside. The cloud here is looking, if you zoom in really close here, this cloud turned red. And on this one candle, it's trying to turn green again. My expectation is that we're retesting this 200 EMA here and we're going to be coming lower, and this cloud is going to be flipping red on the 4-hour chart. If this cloud flips red, we've got our Chikou span that is below the cloud. Our price action is below the cloud. Plus, we're going to be trading below the 200 EMA. That's all confirmation that it's time to be shorting. It's not time to be longing. Okay. Now, when you look at this and you compare this to the 1-hour chart, we are getting a bullish cross below the 0 line on the MACD. So that is slightly bullish considering we've got a couple bullish candles here, but price action is really, really hovering in this quote unquote oversold territory. Oversold territory on the 1-hour RSI and above simply means that you could potentially be experiencing a trend change, okay? Coming back up to a 4-hour chart, let's talk targets, right? So I like to find targets or estimated targets using the trend-based fib extension tool. I used to use the retracement, just the retracement tool exclusively, and I found out that the extension tool is a lot better in my opinion. So come down here, fib extension tool. This was our first downtrend, right? And then this was our pop where we saw resistance. So we've just broken below our 618 and our golden pocket. We also broke below 70% and we tapped the 786 level. So there's a good chance that we could be bouncing here. However, if we don't make a push to be closing above this 618 level, which is about $33,000 now, there's a good chance that we're probably just going to be popping up using that as resistance and then experiencing further downside. Now, if we do experience further downside compared to this, The 1618 is down at $21,000. But normally you would see a bounce somewhere around the 272, which is about $25,000. Okay, so this is the BitMEX liquidation chart on High Block Capital. Link is down in the description below if you guys want to check this out. Absolutely fantastic service. I highly recommend using this. Anyway, last night I posted on Twitter that, oh man, you know, like we could end up running all of these long liquidations. That's exactly what happened after we got this pop. It just completely knocked out all of these 50 and 100x leverage positions. And right now we're kind of teetering at support here. But if people are going to be shorting the bounces, like I would consider shorting the bounces, this would basically line up with my targets of about 27, 28K, right? These are way, way closer to us than any over leveraged short positions here. So I think that shorts are pretty much safe for now, especially people that are shorting these bounces. One just came in for $3 million. All right, so this is taking a look at Binance, and this just looks absolutely terrible. So let's go ahead and zoom in here. You can see we still have this humongous cluster of liquidity below us to be liquidating and finally taking care of all of these people that were really over leveraged, still holding positions and over leveraged longs that may be trapped at this point. There's nothing above us to be liquidating. So that's why I'm saying, unless we see some massive bullish volume be coming into the market to be buying this up, we're not going to be seeing any very significant bounces. That's why I'm saying I want to see a close at least above $33,000 or $35,000 before I enter into any longer term position. All right, so this is Bybit. It's looking pretty much the same here, and yeah, it's pretty much the same on Bybit. Our lowest liquidation is for 13.2 at 30 million, 25x long. So again, same thing on Bybit. Our only short position that there is to liquidate is a little 16.2 million at just under 32,000. And then there isn't anything all the way up until above 32K. So even if we bounced here, I think the highest that we would see is probably up here around 32.5, and that still doesn't do anything for getting us up above that $33,000 to $35,000 area, which we so desperately need to reclaim at this point. All right, so that being said, guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video today. Whenever things like this happen, I try to throw in a little bit of fundamental analysis for you guys. Fundamental analysis is so boring. I hate it. It plays a major role in Bitcoin now. Okay. Bitcoin now in 2020, 2021 is not like Bitcoin used to be in 2017. Okay. I've explained this in another video. I won't get into that and bore you with that now. Until next time, I hope that you guys return. Make sure that if you're a new subscriber that you smash that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out. I appreciate it. Links to all of the tools that I use are down in the description below if you guys are interested in those. Plus, if you sign up, it helps support my channel as well, so I can keep giving you good content, upgrading equipment and stuff like that. This year, I'm going to be very busy. I'm going to be grinding really, really hard, slowing down on trading. All my other time, I'm going to be doing work for clients and doing work for myself to be building out my platform so I can keep giving you guys awesome content. And until next week, or I guess Friday, I'll have a new tutorial out for you guys. So until then, happy trading.